Hi guys, Redneck Wannabe here. I hope all is well with you and your family today. So I hope this isn't too funny of a camera angle because I was holding it out here, but my arm started getting tired. So I guess I'm just getting old or out of shape, or maybe both. So it's been a year since I started that Back to Eden garden, or the big one anyway. And when I started it, I thought, man, I was so excited. I thought, man, this is going to work. And I'd heard some people say, your first year may not be that good. It'll still be good, but it won't be that good. And so when I built it, I thought, man, that's other people, but this is me. I'll be able to get it. First year, no big deal. Well, after the first year, I'm those other people. It didn't, man, this was the worst garden I have had. Period. And Back to Eden, my raised beds, everything. It was just the worst garden. So, but anyway, I had a few months ago, I stumbled across a guy. His name is Mark at I Am Organic. He has a YouTube channel, and he has, I want to say, a 9 or 10 part series on a Back to Eden garden. And so I started watching that, and he starts explaining the soil food web, and he's talking about mycorrhizal fungi, bacteria, nematodes, the whole deal. And I was understanding what he said, but I didn't get it. And so it's been a few weeks ago. My youngest daughter wanted to go to the library, so I took her to the library, and she's over off doing whatever she's looking for. And so I go back to the gardening section, and they had a book called Teeming with Microbes, and so I picked it up, and I admit I am a nerd, I'm a dork, I admit it. But when I was reading this book, man, it clicked. I understood the science behind what I had been hearing. And just talked about bacteria, fungi, nematodes, you name it, in the soil web, and what we can do to feed it, what we can do to kill it, the whole deal. And there was also a chapter on compost tea in there, and it was pretty simple stuff. And the way I understood it is, you have bacteria dominated compost tea, and you have fungi dominated compost tea, and I don't remember which vegetables like bacteria. I remember that. So I have a couple compost piles. I have one here, and I have one back here in the corner, and they're just cold compost. I just, I put stuff on it, and I walk away, and I just let nature take its course. And so I've had them for about a year, and so a couple days ago, I just dug to the bottom. I got a couple big heaping handfuls of compost. I put it in a 5-gallon, and I'll show you all this, but I put it in a 5-gallon bucket, filled it up, put a little bit of unsulfured molasses in there, because the molasses, the way I understood it, provides the sugars to feed the bacteria to help them multiply, and bacteria, nematodes, and all that good stuff. So we're going on 2 days. I'm going to put it on the garden right now, and there's 2 ways that I can do it. One is I can just take a drench. I can just scoop it and pour it directly onto the garden. The other way is I could spray it on the plants themselves, which what I was reading about is, if you've got a lot of fungal diseases, or I'm not sorry, fungal, but just any disease, and pests and stuff like that, you can spray it directly on the plant. Excuse me, and a lot of times it'll take care of whatever you're dealing with. I'm not going to do that, because what I have left are tomatoes, and we're getting towards the end of the season. So I'm just going to dump everything directly onto the Back to Eden garden. And one thing that I'm trying to do is, it's overcast, it's a little sprinkly, and if I remember right, if I were to do this in the middle of the day, in the heat of the day, or full sun, I would take and I would drench it. I believe the UV light would kill all those microbes. And so during a overcast day, spitting a little bit of rain, I'm hoping to that's not going to happen. So, but I'll show you what I did. It was really simple. So here's the 5-gallon bucket, and I've got some rain catchment that I just filled this up. I didn't want to use chlorinated water because obviously that's going to kill all the bacteria and microbes that I'm trying to grow. So I used the rain catchment water. And then I went to a garage sale with my wife, and I picked up this aquarium, I don't know, bubbler, whatever, air pump, whatever you want to call it. Picked it up for $1, and there's supposed to be an air stone on the end of that, but obviously there's not. So I just wrapped it around a rock with a rubber band, put it on both sides, dropped it in, and there you go. So now whenever I first did it, not only did I put compost and water, but I also, this bucket I had full of some eggshells. What all did I have in there? Eggshells, banana peels, and it had just been sitting in, for weeks, and it just stunk. But what I've done is, by adding the oxygen, there's two things. One, you've got aerobic and anaerobic. And the anaerobic is without oxygen, and the way I understand it, again, and I'm no expert, this is just what I read after a couple chapters, but the anaerobic is not what you want to put on your garden, because with the lack of oxygen, it turns some of those sugars into an alcohol, which is bad for your plants. What you want is you want a aerobic mixture, and that's what this is. And so the oxygen helps the microbes, helps them obviously live and multiply, and just turn a lot of that stuff into food, and it's just better for it. So anyway, that's what I've done, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it and drench it on the garden. So I don't think I've left anything out, but this whole setup, I had the bucket, so that was free. That was $1. I guess I could have gone and bought an air stone, but why? So compost tea for $1, and so hopefully next year that will be a whole lot better than it was this year. So anyway, I hope this helps. I would love feedback, comments, and just make sure that I'm doing it right. So, but anyway, I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care.